Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be this fun purple and yellow floral nail set, perfect for the spring season that we are heading into. I'm so excited. So I am starting off with a couple of these pastels from Apres, and two of the nails are going to get this full gorgeous yellow pastel over here, and then the other three nails are going to get an ombre. So I'm ombre between purple and yellow, and although purple and yellow is like a gorgeous color combo and I love it and I think it's so underrated and it should be done more, purple and yellow don't always mix very well together. So if you're marbling them or ombreing them, it's one of those things where like you can't do too much. Got to be a little bit careful, because the more you start mixing it together, especially with darker colors, with the pastels like this, it's not as obvious. But if you're using a darker purple and a more deep saturated yellow, mixing those together can sometimes create a bit of like a unflattering brownish color. So it's one of those things, because they're contrasting colors, they don't really mix very well with each other. So it's just something to keep in mind if ombreing these two colors together. But when you do it in small bits next to each other, it's such a beautiful color combo and I love it. And I'm so excited that I did a nail set with these colors because I think it came out so beautiful. So on these two nails, I'm going to be doing one of those like half diagonal Frenches, and we're going to do the foils on the French area. So I'm using the foil gel from Vettsy, and I'm just going to create like the diagonal French with the foil brush, with the brush on the bottle, and I'm just kind of perfecting it. Sorry that I'm a bit off camera over here. I just wanted to make sure that I had perfect straight lines and everything like that, but it's not too much to see. I'm just placing down some gel, and then I put that in the lamp to cure, and while it was curing and then cooling down, I moved on to these two other ombre nails. So these are going to be the like bookends, like the thumb and the pinky, I guess you can say. And I am going to put down a bunch of these little glitters. I had these bright, fun yellow heart-shaped glitters, confetti, whatever you want to call them, and I thought it would be so cute on this nail set, and the colors were just so perfect. And then I'm using these matte glitters. I mean, I wouldn't really necessarily call these glitters per se, because they're not shiny, and even matte glitters tend to have a little bit of a sheen to them. These are kind of just like almost like paper textured, like I call it confetti. Let me know what you call it down below. But anyway, I'm just adding a few of these purple ones and placing them around on the nail, and I am getting a little bit particular with the placement, but I don't want it to look too placed. You know, I kind of want it to look like an explosion of confetti. I don't want there to be too much of a rhyme or reason, and yet I still want it to look visually appealing. So it's kind of like a balance you have to perfect, where you want it to look, well, at least for me, this for the set that I wanted to do here, I wanted it to look random. Like I said, an explosion of confetti. I didn't want it to look too neat, too placed perfectly, but at the same time, I didn't want there to be too much purple in one section or too many yellow hearts next to each other. I did kind of want it to have a bit of like order without looking too purposeful. So I'm just playing around a little bit with the placement here, and I'm just going to make sure that none of the confettis are overlapping, because I am going to encapsulate these. So I don't want to have too much of bulk, because we're going to be doing foils on top, and I want to make sure I have a nice smooth surface. So I want to make sure that everything is nice and smooth, and that starts with placing down the glitters in a nice orderly manner. So I'm just placing everything down, and once I like how that looks, we're going to place that in the lamp. After they come out, like I said, we are going to encapsulate them. So I'm using this 5-in-1 top coat from Vettsy. I love this for encapsulating. This is my second or third, I think third actually, container that I've gone through of this. I love it. I don't like being without it. I always repurchase it because it is such a great encapsulating gel. It's a nice medium viscosity. It flows well. It does a great job. It cures tack free, which is amazing. So if you did want to use it just as a top coat without an encapsulated like layer that you file, it works great for that too. It's just such an amazing product. So I'm just going to place down a nice thin slip layer, and then building up a layer over top to encapsulate. Now, because these are like just press-on nails that don't actually even fit me, I just use them for design purposes. I'm not working too hard to create like an apex or anything like that, because they don't really need any structure. It was just for the encapsulation itself. And after that is done, the sideways Frenches are ready to be done. And I'm sorry, but off camera I wanted to make sure that it was placed well. Interesting thing is, because the foil pattern itself had a lot of blank spaces, and because it was only placed in a very small area, as you can see, once I removed it, you kind of couldn't tell what it was, because I didn't leave a lot of area space, because it's just in the corner, and like I said, there's a lot of like space in between the foils. So I do go in with a second layer soon, just to fill in the gaps a little bit, so that it actually looks like like a dense floral pattern. So while that's curing, because I like leaving some time for the foil gel to cool down after it comes out of the lamp, I'm going to move on to this nail. This is going to be the center nail, and I found these really pretty daisy flower charms that I had in my collection. I think I got them from Vettsy, but I'm not 100% sure. Most probably though. And I just wanted to create a really simple yet impactful crystal design. I feel like a lot of the designs that I've been doing recently, although I've been having a lot of fun, I feel like they've been a lot more simpler than I've done. They haven't been so glittery. They haven't been so glitzy and glammy, so I wanted to add a few more crystals than I have been recently. So over here, as you can see, I'm doing a second layer of the foil and just kind of filling in, like pinpointing the areas where I feel like, you know, it's missing a little bit of flowers, and just kind of individually placing down the foil where I feel like it's missing some interest. As we can see there, it looks a lot better now. And now after I filed and buffed up these nails, after encapsulating them, I did that off camera. I felt like it wasn't particularly interesting to see. It's just filing and there's a lot of dust. So there's not really much to see here. I am just going to place down the foil gel, and after that was cured and cooled down, I'm doing the full foil over the whole nail. And even though, like I said before, this floral design has like a lot of gaps in it, and there's a lot of spaces, because I had those glitters in the background, it kind of filled in the gaps. So I didn't have to go in with a second layer like I did on the French nails. They kind of got filled in with the glitters behind it. And I think it came out really, really cool. I don't know why I didn't show them for longer. Usually I do, like I hold them in front of the camera and I show the whole design. I'm not sure why I didn't do that this time. I apologize, but we're going to be seeing them again soon. So we'll get to see enough of them while doing the rest of the design. So like I said before, while I was doing the flower nails, I felt like a lot of these designs that I've been doing recently have been a lot quicker, a lot simpler, and not as elaborate. So I was in the mood for something just a little bit more fun with like the encapsulated glitters and the foils, and I wanted to add in a bunch of gems. Basically, I was feeling a little bit like I was missing some gems in my life. I hadn't been doing a lot of crystal placements recently, so I wanted all of these nails to have some sort of gem to them. So I do that. Over here, I'm just creating like a very simple, I'm not doing anything complicated. That's the best part. It's not complicated. It's just one larger crystal in the center, and then smaller ones along the sides until I reach the bottom, and then like one tiny little one at the end over there where it fits in. So it's not anything complicated. If you did want to make this super glam, you could put in like caviar beads between the crystals and everything like that. And I thought about that, but I kind of wanted it to look glam without being gaudy, you know, for this set specifically. I wanted it to be impactful, but not too over the top. And I feel like once I was having crystals on all of the nails, if I started doing too much, it was going to be really overwhelming. I felt like doing crystals on all the nails needs to be balanced out with very simple crystal placements. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe it would have been great with a bunch of extra caviar beads or all the other stuff, but I was in the mood for something just a little bit more basic, and that's the best part of it, because once they're all sitting together next to each other as a set and they all have crystals on them and they're all so busy and fun, it just became a really beautiful set. So maybe individually they kind of just look a little simple by themselves, but all together as a set, I think it looks amazing. And now I'm just going to top coat all of these, and even though it looks like I'm moving really quickly, I do have this video sped up, of course. I do not work this fast. I was actually working really, really slowly with my matte top coat because I did not want to accidentally matte top coat over the rhinestones. That would have just completely ruined the whole look. So you want to be really, really careful, but I was trying to get up close because I wanted to make sure that I was covering up the nail glue, the gem glue, so that it wouldn't, you know, show through and you wouldn't see like the lines and everything. But work carefully when you're doing matte top coat around crystals. But I love a matte top coat on top of foils. I think it just really brings out all of the detail, especially in florals. So I'm just going to finish up this last nail over here, and then we're going to see it all together. I think over here, once they're all placed together, you can really see how beautiful they are. The matte top coat really just brings all the detail of the foils out, and sitting all next to each other, I think it's such a fun set. I am so excited for spring. I think this is a great way to celebrate. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you all in my next video.